Hi, geometry students. I wanted to give you a little introduction here, or really teach you lesson 4.2. This is module 4.2. And I'm taking advantage of an opportunity here to sort of flip our lesson, which basically means you do the lesson at home and you just clear up any lingering questions at school. So this is a really good opportunity to do that because of the topics in this lesson. Some are already very familiar to you, and any that are not are pretty easy, so I think you'll be okay with this. I think you'll do really well with this. So there are basically 5 things in this lesson to learn about triangles. The first one is the triangle angle sum theorem. Sometimes it's just called the triangle sum theorem. Sometimes we leave out the word angle. And it basically says if you have a triangle and the angles are A, B, and C degrees, those are the measures of the angles, then A plus B plus C equals 180. Or another way to put that would be the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a triangle, and this is any triangle, is always 180. Okay, so for instance, in this first example, I have 102, I have 60, and I have A. So I'm going to say 102 plus 60 plus A equals 180, and then solve. This would be a good place for you to pause this video, try these problems, and then check them by starting the video again. I'm going to go ahead and go through them rather rapidly. Remember, the advantage to having a video is if you want to, you can always replay a part. So first I combine my 102 and 60. Then I'm subtracting 162 from both sides, and A is 18. So that's my answer here. On the next one, C plus 96 plus 42 equals 180. 96 plus 42 is 138. So C plus 138 equals 180. Subtract 138 from both sides, and you get 42. And last but not least, this is 2x minus 3 plus x plus 5 plus 4 times the quantity x minus 7 all adds up to 180. The first thing I would do right here is I would take care of that distributive property, and so that leaves me with 2x minus 3 plus x plus 5 plus 4x minus 28 equals 180. Now I can combine my like terms. 2x, 1x, and 4x adds up to 7x's. Negative 3 plus 5 is positive 2, minus 28 is negative 26. These are all on the same side of the equal sign, so don't do any opposite when you're trying to put them together. You just put them together as they are. Now I'm going to add 26 to both sides. 7x equals 206. Divide both sides by 7 here. Let's see, that's going to go 2, 9, I think it's 29 and maybe 3/7. Something like that. Grab a calculator real quick. Or we could just leave that as 206 over 7. That's fine too. All right, next. This comes directly from the triangle sum theorem, and that is if I know that this is sum of the acute angles in a right triangle. In a right triangle, one angle is 90. The other two have to both be acute then. They can't add up to more than 90. Neither one of them can be bigger than 90, because then altogether it would be more than 180. And this is a triangle, so all of this rule still applies. So all 3 of these have to add up to 180. So measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2 plus the 90-degree angle here have to add up to 180. So measure of angle 1 and measure of angle 2, if I subtract 90 from both sides, they have to add up to 90. In other words, if I'm already using 90 degrees for this angle, that leaves me with 90 left for these two put together. So the sum of the acute angles in a right triangle is always 90. In other words, the two angles that are not right angles would always add up to 90. So for instance here, this is 90. So x and 23 have to add up to 90. So x plus 23 equals 90. And x equals 67. Okay, you might want to go ahead and try this one on your own and then start the video again when you're ready. I get x plus 2x. These are my two acute angles, the two ones that are not 90. They have to add up to 90 together between the two of them. So this says 3x equals 90 and x equals 30. This is an example of a problem where they might ask you to go plug that back in and find out that this is 30 and this would be 2 times 30, so that would be 60. Okay, so we've already gotten through 2 of our 5 things we need to know about triangles. This is probably the most special one and probably the newest to you. The exterior angle theorem is talking about an angle that is outside the triangle. Notice I have triangle PQR here, and then we extend one of the sides so that it keeps going past Q, and that gives me an exterior angle. Angle 4 is an exterior angle. All right, turns out that when you have an exterior angle, we can give these special names too. This one right next to 4 is the adjacent interior angle. Adjacent means next to, so it's next to angle 4, so we say adjacent interior because it's inside the triangle. The other two are called the remote interior angles. Think about when you use a remote control. You use it when you are away from or across the room from the TV. Okay, so 1 and 2 are not next to 4. This one's next to 4. They're the two that are away from 4. So the two angles inside the triangle that are not close to the exterior angle, the other two. The one right next to it's called the adjacent interior. The other two are called the remote interior angles. Basically, the exterior angle theorem says this. The measure, let's put it this way, the measure of an exterior angle is, in other words, the measure of angle 4 is the sum of the measures of the two remote interior angles. Meaning in this picture that 4 is equal to 1 plus 2. So measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2 equals measure of angle 4. Let me move that over so you can see it better. If you didn't get a chance to write it before, you write it now. So for instance, in this first picture, here's angle 1. This is my exterior angle. So this would be the adjacent interior. This is not a remote interior. This is the adjacent interior. That makes these other two the remote interiors. So these are the two that have to add up to angle 1. So 30 plus 40 equals the measure of angle 1. So 70 is the measure of angle 1. Okay, looking at the next one, see if you could figure out which ones are the remote interiors, the ones that would add up to the exterior, and it's kind of obvious here because they're the ones given. So here's the exterior. This is my exterior angle out here, the 113. This is my adjacent interior. So these are my remote interiors. So these are the two that add up to the 113. So 70 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 113. Subtract 70 from both sides. Measure of angle 2 equals 43. And last but not least, same thing's happening here. Here's my exterior. The 2x minus 8 is my exterior. So the one that's not labeled would be my would be my adjacent interior. So here are my remote interiors. So x plus 31 adds up to 2x minus 8. Then I can solve. Subtract x from both sides and I get x on the right. Add 8 to both sides and I get 39. So x equals 39. And that's exterior angle theorem.